This SledgeHammer. Who is he?
Surprise! Party's over, crumb cakes. You just ruined my best sports jacket. Now I'm really mad. No, I almost forgot I had a grenade in my pocket.
SledgeHammer is a sitcom for people who hate sitcoms. I hate them. I really do. They stink.
It was totally out of control. Fearless, brilliant, breaking all the rules.
Everything was kind of over the top. My first impression was always, can we actually do this?
We just took everything and kind of twisted it around. The conceits of the cop shows that have been running and still run. How do we take this and make this funny?
See how exciting police work can be?
Painful, right?
I was a latchkey child, so I spent all this time by myself at home, and there's only about 3 things you can do. Watch TV, masturbate, and write. And 2 of those pay well. My favorite show was Get Smart. I thought it was a real spy show when it came on. And I believed Maxwell Smart was a spy. He was legitimate. The villains were doing real stuff, and Max and 99, when they're in danger, it was real and it was credible. People could really get killed on this. There was something wrong with this show. I remember watching it for 10 minutes saying, I thought it was The Man from U.N.C.L.E. when I first saw it, and I said, this is like a spy show that's been miscast. I remember seeing a Dirty Harry movie, and that changed my life. And I thought Clint Eastwood was like the greatest person on screen, and it was controversial at the time because it was accused of fascism and being overtly violent. My response to it was so strange because this was considered a drama. I said, this has a great sense of humor. It was toying with an idea to write that they had people like Inspector Clouseau, bumbling heroes, Maxwell Smart, that caused a lot of damage accidentally. What if you had someone who did it intentionally and knew exactly what they were doing? And that's what SledgeHammer was. I wrote it out as a screenplay when I was still a teenager, and people read it and thought I was insane. The script coverage says one seriously has to wonder about the state of mind of this writer, and went on how insane I was, and said I basically really should be locked up. Only one person liked the screenplay. Leonard Stern didn't Get Smart. He could see the satirical tone and understood what I was doing. An executive at HBO contacted Leonard Stern and said, we'd like to do a satire of Dirty Harry. But Leonard Stern, out of the kindness of his heart, said, somebody already wrote this. Then HBO came to me, and they talked me into developing it into a half hour for HBO. And I said, this is good, because I can use language and violence, and this is something that will never fly in a network. So I wrote everything you couldn't do on TV. It was just totally over the top. And it was turned into the HBO executives. They didn't know what to make of this thing. One of the HBO executives said that I should give them money back for turning in something like this. And this is how you become difficult, because you have your vision, you fight for it, and everybody else, they're telling you you're being difficult. So my agent was saying, you're out of your mind, you're crazy. I said, I know I'm crazy, look what I wrote. Don't tell me something I don't know. Of course I'm crazy. At the time, ABC was the 3rd-rated network, and they were looking to make noise. They wanted to do shows that were different and that would get attention. And a man named Stu Bloomberg, who was in charge of development there, he read the script and got it. They said, if you can get it out of HBO, we'll make it. And I said, it's not going to be hard to get it out of HBO. So I had a tantrum. I said, you're all a bunch of idiots, and this script is brilliant, and you are all idiots. And keep in mind, this is a script that has like the F word, all and people getting shot left and right. And he goes, if I took this today, I could set it up at a network. And they said, go ahead. Oh, please. And they were laughing. And I did. And within 24 hours, it was set up at ABC. You should have seen their faces. I was very, very young. It was unusual at that time to have somebody like 23, 24 producing a show for them. So here's this young kid just saying, this is my vision, this is what I want. But Stu's attitude was, if you embrace a script that's this out there, you got to go with the guy's vision of it all the way.
Hi. You know me? Well, most people don't, and that's why I carry this. It's a .44 Magnum. It's recognized throughout the world. When I show this, I get instant attention. Whether I'm here or out on the street, people know I mean business.
Alan saw me in a movie called Best Defense, and it was on the basis of that he offered me the part in SledgeHammer.
Meet SledgeHammer.
And at that time, I really wanted to be, I had dreams of being, as we all do, a great actor. And I wanted to be in the movies, and I wanted to be on stage. I was at workshops at the Second City in Chicago. Bill Murray was there when I was there, and John Candy, and Gilda Radner. That was sort of the crowd that I was there with. But television, to go on television was like be television. And so they sent me the script, and it was really funny. And I thought, I don't want to do this. And then I would read it, and I would think, this is really funny. And then I read it again, I'd think, no. And then I read it again, I'd think, this is really funny.
The only partner I need is my amigo right here. I told you to put that...
So I said, okay. And I'm glad I did.
Sorry, Captain. That was reflex.
I was convinced that David was the only person who could make the character likable because he doesn't play anything as offensive. He plays stuff like he's in musical comedy. There's an innocence, a playfulness.
Liked him.
He was all right.
I'd say you loved him.
What?
Ever since that first night when you met him, when you were dancing in the chorus of the hula bar, you've been in love with him. It was a whirlwind romance.
SledgeHammer is a character who's fighting the same criminals that other cops are doing in movies and TV, but he's off.
The only way to fight criminals is to be, wilder than air. I mean, that's my method.
The key was, he means to do well.
Captain, I feel that the reason you keep getting these headaches is your neck is out of line. What you need is a chiropractic adjustment. Is that better?
He's always trying to do the right thing. I mean, he's doing the wrong thing, but he's always trying to do the right thing.
Hammer, why are you doing this?
Because I care.
Well, he's trying to help out, trying to be helpful.
And that's why the audience was on his side. One of the most critical aspects of it was the female character, Dory DeRoe, played by Anne-Marie Martin.
I heard a shot.
DeRoe, that was excessively violent and completely unnecessary. I loved it.
Landing this was, it was heaven. It was a dream come true. And that it was physical comedy. There were a billion people, of course, wanting this part. It's a great part.
Hey, aim for me, maybe you'll hit the snake.
Alan Spencer. He's seriously cracked. And that was right up my alley. I was thrilled. Made my day. I just don't understand you, Hammer. You're so violent.
I realized that this character of DeRoe was a barometer for the audience. And if he does something horrible, you look at her having a migraine and you laugh. If she forgave SledgeHammer, then the audience could. And if she liked him, because she's a nice person, really competent, he ain't all bad.
Hammer! In my office right now!
My character is the boss. I went to audition for it. And I thought, this guy, he's got to be like absolutely out of his mind with frustration. So I decided that the way to do this thing is to just have him just blow his top.
What the hell did I tell you about firing your gun inside, Hammer?
You said don't do it.
And I started yelling, and people were running up to see if anything was wrong.
I said take him off!
Alan Spencer was also in the building. He came to the door and heard that and saw that and decided, I want this guy for that part.
You lost your gun?
Take it easy.
I never wrote the part of Captain Trunk for a black person. I didn't want Hammer to be viewed as a racist, and I was really afraid how that would come off. I was proven wrong because people would come in and read, and no one had the power to stand up to this manic, crazy character.
Cut the wisecracks, Hammer. There's $1 million price tag on your head.
Harrison's an extraordinary actor,
Idea of a joke.
Shut up, Hammer.
so that's how Harrison got that part.
Alan wrote one of the most original pilots that's ever been on. It was all his idea, and it was marvelous. Martha Coolidge, who was the director on the pilot, did a great job.
She studied other movies in that genre. She directed like a movie. She wanted to show that a female director could handle an action piece.
Now drop the gun this instant. I know you'd never shoot at a woman.
Call me a feminist.
She was wonderful to work with, a real actor's director.
All the other cops are wusses, except me. Can't let my guard down for 1 minute.
Hammer, you just did. We had a director who could spend the time, work with the actors and build those characters and make sure that they were deeper than you'd normally get.
Let's go, partner.
Jerome, you're off your rocker.
True. But I know what I'm doing.
She made Anne Marie's character this really sexy, in control, strong woman like Martha herself. She made that show, the pilot, about this one insane individual in the company of other very well-behaved, sane people.
What's the problem? The lousy machine took my money.
Stand away from it.
No!
This isn't open for discussion. This is an order. I want SledgeHammer.
John Vernon, he played the mayor in the first Dirty Harry movie. The legitimacy of having him there and playing the mayor against David was critical.
I don't care what methods you use, Hammer. Just bring back my daughter.
I will, sir. Dead or alive.
But the point is to bring her back alive, Hammer.
He certainly got the joke and knew what he needed to do.
Listen, Treat. I'm Inspector SledgeHammer, and I don't give a damn about the rights of criminals.
If anybody remembers SledgeHammer, they remember 3 things from the show, and they're all from the pilot. The first one is the bumper sticker. The second one, I throw an airplane, and it sticks in the back of the captain's head. And in the next scene, it's still sticking out of the back of his head. The third one, and the most important one, and the one that no one will forget, I come upon a sniper in a building. And so I go into my trunk, and I get a bazooka.
Hammer, what are you doing? You'll get killed!
And I blow up a 25-story building just to get a sniper. And everybody remembers that. It is really one of the all-time great moments in comic cop history.
I think I got him.
I remember when we finished the pilot and put it together, and I watched it by myself. I said, they give me enough rope to hang myself.
All right, Krugel, for the last time. What do you know?
This is really out there.
Put that blindfold on me.
And the first audience preview,
Yeah, you know, this is one shot I always miss.
they just were up in arms over this. Some people thought it was serious.
Oh.
You hit the balloon.
Yeah, I know. I missed.
I saw like some little lady just shaking her head. I had complete control of this pilot. It was in the contract that the show would not have a laugh track, and people panicked. They put a laugh track on it and tested it again, and it tested appreciably higher, like way higher.
Hey, people! Let's show some consideration and keep it down. We am on a phone, huh? Hey, other people live here, all right?
So part of the concession when the show got on was that it'd have a laugh track.
You got it. I'll be right down. You hear that? I'm off suspension. Looks like they can't keep a good man down, huh? Or me either.
But I hated it. It was a hard show to write. It was a hard show for people to get a handle on because most sitcoms don't have a lot of gunplay.
Load up. There's slime balls afoot.
They should, though. Malcolm in the Middle should be like Magnum in the Middle. We had really talented writers, people that have gone on to The Simpsons, Cheers. It was difficult because we were doing cop plots and mysteries.
What could a killer's motive be to murder 15 Elvis impersonators?
Obviously to get in the Guinness Book.
The whole purpose was that you would turn it on and you would think, oh, there's a cop show. Oh, this is good.
Oh my God! Ow! What are you doing now?
And then you would think, oh my God, did I just see that?
What are you doing? Oh!
What the hell is going on? And that's exactly what people did. I think it took a while for people to really get what was going on in the show.
Because it broke the rules, because it was different than everything else on TV. Ellen was swinging with a cracked bat. You know, to see those scripts, every week they'd come out and, you know, you just go, oh, can you do this?
Can we do the things that are in this script?
Are you allowed to do this? That was thrilling.
Every day was a dream. I mean, no one could ask for any more. You had a finely crafted classic comedy scene and a set.
Never take me alive, Hammer. That's just the way I like it.
The whole crew participated. Everybody was keyed in to what we were doing.
We're at the scene of a liquor store robbery that was thwarted by the man beside me, Inspector SledgeHammer. Inspector Hammer, tell us what happened.
Well, miss, I was in this store when two thugs entered and threatened the owner with shotguns. At that time, I drew my magnum and killed them both. Then I bought some eggs and some milk and some of those little cocktail weenies.
We all sat down with, who is this guy? What would his car look like? We all decided that it should be, you know, a green old piece of junk, but it should have bullet holes. So the effects guys came over and they shot holes all in it. Another signature of SledgeHammer was that whenever he pulled up in a parking spot, he always hit something. What would his apartment look like? There were so many things that we were trying to extrapolate. Tracy Tynan was the wardrobe mistress who invented the wardrobe, and she got a whole bunch of vintage sort of sport coats and vintage ties, and then she thought, and shirts, she thought, oh hell, let's just throw them all up in the air and see where they land. So everything I had was completely mismatched. The tie did not go with the coat. It was as if I didn't care about my clothes as the archetypal cop doesn't, except I really didn't care. We wanted to do one scene where he would go into Chinese laundry. Oh, Miss Hammer, you know, not a bullet hole in your shirt. Well, you know, thank you.
Stand up, ragweed. Pronto!
Tori DeRoe plays everything by the book.
Hammer, what are you doing?
I'm gonna teach this little genetic mistake a lesson.
We're in front of City Hall. You want to be taken in for police brutality?
She's sort of the watchdog for Sledge. You know, she's the one who says, no, you can't do that. That's way over the line. You can't do that. You've got to do this. It's sort of like walking a dog that's never been walked on a leash before.
Anne-Marie was the perfect cop sidekick. She had an infinite variety of ways of registering disbelief at what SledgeHammer was doing at the time.
It's very difficult to be a straight man. I think it's about the most difficult thing you can do.
Yeah, Hammer, don't break the window.
David's doing all this stuff,
Don't break the window! Don't break...
and you're just sort of, you know, straight-faced a lot, and you do feel a little naked.
I thought she was just a terrific lady. When she walks in that room, everybody gets quiet, and all eyes follow her, and we all just kind of went, holy moly. That's the kind of power she had.
And she was beautiful, and she had legs that didn't stop.
Everybody knows Anne-Marie's got the greatest legs on the planet.
And she's a great kisser. I kissed her only once. Sadly, what a kisser. I'm telling you.
Oh, DeRoe, quit fooling around, will you?
It's hard to find a really gorgeous woman with a great sense of humor and who's willing to be pretty fearless. Most actresses are concerned on TV how they look, and she seemed to have this, she didn't worry about it.
It was just funny to see this beautiful, gorgeous woman, she just completely threw herself into it. She was always willing to do anything. I mean, she was not above scraping around and doing whatever she needed to do.
I like to be physical. I've always been a physical person. So I enjoyed that stuff. I mean, I couldn't wait for there to be wrestling or fighting. I just remember being on large machinery a lot, being hostile and aggressive, kicking some guy in the head. That stuff's fun.
That's why I loved Anne-Marie, because she's gorgeous and she could protect me, which is what I need.
My character was way over the top. The reason why he behaves that way is because he is powerless. Trunk didn't want that person anywhere near him.
Hammer, you were not supposed to shoot all the targets, just the bad guys.
Right. I don't know what I don't know where my head's at.
He would like to get rid of him, but he can't do it. So he yells and he screams and he gets frustrated and the whole thing.
Harrison was really good at the slow burn. He could smolder and smoke. He could steam.
No!
He would sputter. His eyes would cross. He had 100 different ways of just being unbearably overborne by whatever I was doing.
This is serious business. Performers are dropping like flies, and I want it stopped.
He did a lot of screaming, and it was good screaming.
I'm not going to be responsible for what happens out there, Hammer. What are y'all spinning around about? Get to work.
It sounded like God yelling. It was like some explosive thing going on. I think like it was like an earthquake happened.
Depraved, bloodthirsty, barbaric.
Is that why you called me in here to shower me with compliments?
No!
The rage and intensity that came out of him, it was scary. And that's what was funny. SledgeHammer is so extreme that someone should get that upset.
He could really get mad, and in a very funny way.
Sorry, Your Honor. I lost control for a second.
He was really, really great.
David was consistently funny because he had a capacity to keep shocking you because of his conviction. Mel Brooks has been a big influence on my life. And Mel refers to this as the sincerity of performance. The performances are sincere.
He says he's gonna jump.
It's the difference between a sketch and the real deal.
I'll get a bullhorn and try and talk him down.
No, I can handle it.
Hammer!
David looks like he could play this part straight, so it makes it more bizarre.
Another life saved. And I still have one bullet left.
He's like Dirty Harry made without enough sleep. There is no other actor on earth that I can think of that can make you believe he's really talking to the gun.
We got vermin on the roof. But I got an idea.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
He was really talking. I saw him talk to it off the set once. He hit it against something and went, "You all right?" And it went, which I thought was disturbing, but I kind of got off on it.
I didn't love my gun. I really loved my gun.
Hello, compadre.
The gun was my friend. The gun was my confidant. I couldn't be without my gun. Slept with my gun. Slept it on the pillow. I got to have it all the time. It wasn't that he had an arsenal. He was monogamous. One of my favorite shows, Sledge lost his gun and he was bereft. It was like my woman. And I went into a bar and I told this guy, I said, "Boy," I said, "I really miss her." Bartender says, "I'll bet you do." I said, "Yeah."
I want to know whose hand is gripping her, whose palm is caressing her.
She was hot. He says, "Oh, really?" "Yeah." I said, "Boy, when she went off, she'd smoke."
Smoke?
"Really?" "Yeah." And then in the very end, I came into the bar again. He said, "How is she?" And I said, "I got her back." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yep."
And now I'm going to take her out and shoot her.
Classic. Terrific writing.
We're not gonna get out of this.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
At the time, there were 61 shows. And out of those 61 shows, we were always number 60. Only Tracy Ullman was lower than us, thank God for her, or we would have been last. We were on Friday night opposite Miami Vice and Dallas, two of the blockbuster hits of all time.
They'd move the time slots all around. They'd move it while it was airing. So during the commercials, like people would go, "Where's the second half?" And it would be on 8:30 on a Saturday morning.
Good evening, I'm Robin Leach. The producers of SledgeHammer have asked me to explain tonight's episode. Let me be frank, it is an attempt to boost the ratings. We're desperate. So in tonight's episode, we're going to rely on surefire ratings grabbers, sex, violence, and best of all, a cliffhanger ending. thus ensuring there will be a next season. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
I didn't think the show was coming back, despite the critical acclaim.
Boy, this is shaping up to be a really bad day.
It did not seem like the show was going to be coming back. This was going to be the final episode. I wanted to create a cliffhanger that, if there was a chance it would come back, that maybe it would be renewed because people would just want to see how the hell you get out of this.
So there was a nuclear device that I was supposed to disarm.
Hammer, you can't defuse that bomb.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
And I goofed.
Nuclear holocaust is it pushes the envelope a bit.
And at the very end of it, during the tag, I'm yelling,
It was kind of a petulant act. It was to mock every convention of TV and to go out with kind of a petulant, you know, damn it, screw you, whatever. Take this. The final episode got a high rating. The network asked me, you have a way out of this? I go, yeah. They said, tell us. I said, no. Well, no. We'll renew it and I will. So and it's like, sure. So they renewed it and I had a way out of it.
The following season of SledgeHammer takes place 5 years before that nuclear explosion. Thank you.
Make it a prequel.
That was pretty clever. That was pretty good.
I was ecstatic. I mean, I was really happy that this thing was going to happen again.
I was thrilled to come back and thrilled to work with Alan, you know. I mean, he's the nucleus of the show.
The second season turned out to be every bit as much fun as the first. It was a family show because the grown-ups knew the sly jokes.
You're not that stupid.
Says who?
And Alan put a lot of those in.
Well, Drew, looks like we're safe now.
Hammer the fuse!
But there was also this just ridiculous slapstick stuff.
Get him up, pal!
So it pleased people of all ages.
Also, I should mention critical acclaim is what kept it on, because the reviews were just, I think the network themselves were surprised by the reviews. Then they moved to the second season against The Cosby Show, which was the big show then.
And nobody wanted to be anywhere near that show.
I mean, he destroyed everything. I mean, everything that came up against The Cosby Show died.
So they had this idea, Sledge will take on Cosby. So they had this whole campaign. Who's man enough to take on Cosby? So we had a second season. But opposite Cosby, it wasn't to be.
I didn't really consider it canceled. To me, it just kind of died on the vine. You know, the second season, I didn't even know. I mean, they didn't even call me because I pretty much knew.
It's a shame that we didn't go for 10 years because I think we could have.
Welcome to my resurrection.
I had sort of mixed feelings, but only because I was still hanging on to this whole thing about I should be in New York. It was mistaken, and I made a mistake, and I'm sorry. And I want to apologize to you right now in front of everyone. That was really stupid because I guess, as usual, you just don't know how much fun you're having when you're having it.
Yeah, come on up and fight like a man.
In the end, it was the most fun I ever had.
You only appreciate your life sometimes or how good you have it till later on. When I worked at other networks and other things, and I was like, you mean I don't get creative freedom?
You take it for granted. You think you're better than you are, forgetting that it's a gift. It was a great experience. It was hard, but I loved it.
The whole thing was a huge risk on everybody's part.
Let my captain go!
Nobody had done anything like that. Even Get Smart didn't go to the lengths we did.
It was different than everything else on TV.
It was funny. It was weird.
But it was, once again, it was fun because it was about something. It was an opportunity to skewer the love of violence.
SledgeHammer!
And all the cliches that accompany that.
this. It's 9 a.m. and already we've had an armored car hold up, 3 prisoners, and a car crash.
Yeah, it's always slow just after Christmas.
People told me, why don't you do something more normal? Why, you know, make a lot of money, be independently wealthy, have a big home and a pool, and drugs, I guess. I guess that's desirable. If I had to trade between doing this critically acclaimed offbeat show and a mainstream hit that runs forever, no, I'd rather do this.
It was a terrific constellation of talent. For some reason, everybody kind of landed in the same room and got on the same wavelength. And what they ended up with was SledgeHammer.